We hear it all the time about how energy and abundance align, and that's how we can start getting the things we want, the income we want, all of that. But how do we actually do it in a way that's not all airy-fairy and esoteric? How do we actually have a way to get our energy into abundance so that we can start manifesting or pulling in the things that we actually want? Well, that's what this video today is going to take you through. Not only am I going to show you how to get into the correct energy by understanding these 3 points, I'm going to show you actually how to change your belief systems, your emotions and your thoughts with a different technique so that you can actually start manifesting the things you want. There's a few points I'm going to take you through, and right at the end, I'm going to tell you the most important part. And it's about your sphere of control. And what that means is within your own ability to act and make changes, how are you meant to respond or behave in that situation so that you can start to manifest the life that you want. What's up, you guys? My name is Mitch, and I like to take spirituality, break it down and make it practical so that you can use it to manifest your dreams. And we speak a lot about energy. We speak a lot about these things in spirituality, about what energy is or how it works. Well, what is energy? It's a combination of thoughts, emotions, and your beliefs. These 3 things will determine what your energy is at as one overall theme. And a lot of us have these beliefs that are undercover. We don't even know about our own beliefs. And that's what this video specifically is going to help you with later on when we get into changing your beliefs. I'm going to show you how to literally change what you believe to what you want so that you can manifest your dreams. Now, a lot of us see the world this way. We see these thoughts that happen, we have this emotional reaction, and then we solidify our belief systems that actually aren't serving us. They're not helping us in any way. And most of the time, it's linked to fear. Now, when we go and take a look at this ego demonstration, this is where fear lives at its strongest. We have these undercover belief systems that are not visible to even us. We don't really understand them. Then we think first, and then that goes into what we feel. And this chain of events is what we have to change to start manifesting abundance. And it literally just works like this. Become aware of these beliefs. Use emotions as a choice and then allow the thoughts to come. What happens is this shift over here. The heart itself is creative. It isn't bound by the way things work in this world. That's to do with our logical minds. But if you think about it in your own space, your emotions run free. They run around and do what they want. They create these imaginative spaces in our minds where we go and we're with the ideal partner and we've got the Iron Man suit and we're flying around. It creates these versions of existence that might not match what our eyes see. But it gives us a sense of feeling. It gives us almost a navigating point to go towards. We know when we play with our imagination, we want to feel what our imagination is creating. But a lot of us limit our experience of this emotion to this world. And we think to ourselves, well, I can only really feel that way if I have those things. And that's not actually how it works. And the reason that this is the way we think of it is because of the hidden belief system, that things, people, and places can make us feel a certain way. Have you ever been in a situation with your partner, your relationship, where your partner says to you, you've made me feel very upset by the fact that you didn't do this and this and this the way I asked? You can never actually make someone feel any way. That's not possible. You can just be a reminder or trigger point for that emotion for them. But it's one of the first beliefs to get out of your head that anyone has control over how you feel. How you feel is a chemical balancing process that happens within your own brain. Biologically, that is what that emotion is. So you in yourself choose to allow certain things to change how you feel. Now, we can actually control what we feel. We can choose exactly what emotion we want to experience, and we can actually start living out that emotion. And that's what I was telling you about. But before I get into how we can choose our emotion, I want to get into how we can reset our belief systems. So quite simply, a belief system is the way we think things work. We go, oh, well, gravity, that's a belief system, right? Is, oh, okay, things, if I throw something up, it's going to come back down. Now we've got to step this up into the emotional realm, into the non-physical. So for example, I know somebody who's quite close to me who goes into exams, and it seems like every single time they go to do exams for university, things go wrong. Like, that's when the car breaks down. That's when the computer stops working. And he turned around and said to us, well, it seems it's just my luck. It seems to always happen. I can just live as if that's the truth. That's a flawed belief system that's actually creating that scenario. You might think to yourself, well, how would that create the scenario? Everything in this world is just a mirror to our internal states of self. It's our energy that's been reflected back to us. And that's a combination of these three things. So if we want to start shifting out of that, we have to change our belief systems. Now, when you start to see that this world is a reflection of your internal state of self, it takes a level of admission of fault. So if you're sitting there going, I'm perfect, I don't do anything wrong, this is what you're going to have to change to start manifesting a different reality. We are not perfect, and we don't even want the responsibility of being perfect. We don't even want to think to ourselves we could be. So the way we handle this going forward in our life, and the way we take care of not being expected to be perfect, is by not expecting others or ourselves to be perfect. To treat everyone, everything, and ourselves as a learner. If we go through life as a student the whole time, our egos drop, because that humility allows us to bring more things in. Now this eventually turns into that sphere of control I was telling you about in the beginning. That's the most exciting thing we can do to literally start pulling in abundance, and it works with shifting this belief system. So the best way to put it is that belief systems are not fully formed. It's a nice way to frame it because we only go halfway up the ladder and then we treat what happened in that half as the way things work. You know when you hear somebody saying, oh, but I deserve it. I deserve good things. I'm sure you've said it yourself. I deserve to have this job opportunity. I deserve to have a good relationship. Well, what qualifies someone as deserving? If we really have to go into the nitty-gritty of it, like what makes someone worthy? What would the requirement be? Do they have to be a good person? Must they be flawless? Must they be perfect? Is that what makes someone deserving? Deserving is a concept that doesn't actually have any bounds. It's an illusion. It's a belief system we have that we have to be in a state of deserving something to get it. But who sets that bar? Who sets what deserving is? I know a lot of good people who deserve a really nice income because they're such great people and they help others. But that's not the way the universe works. Deserving doesn't exist. Now, if we have to complete that belief system of deserving, breathing air and having consciousness is your deserving. It is your full worth. That everything that you can perceive in your mind is within your grasp. A nice way to look at what you deserve is, what do you create in your imagination? Because nothing is limited when everything is a reflection. If everything is a reflection, then nothing is unobtainable. Now, if we go through all of our belief systems the same way we do with that whole worthy, deserving thing, and we take a look at ourselves and go, what do I believe in that I was told to believe in, or that I, as a child, decided this was my reality? That doesn't even make sense. And a lot of the time, you're going to come to a system that looks like this. It was a thought that was created and then into the heart in belief. And it creates this ego creation. It's all about this human flesh, which doesn't have any value. So if you have something really specific about this, like you're going, okay, wait, what about this belief system? And there's something that you're not sure about, put it in the comments. Write the belief system that you want to challenge in the comments, and I will sit there with you one-on-one and we go back and forth at this exact belief system that you want to try and change to create abundance in your energy. For those of you who don't know, I respond to every single comment on every one of my videos, and I'd be more than happy to sit and tackle your belief systems with you. And if this is making sense so far, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another upload. So we can change, and that's what we're meant to do, is change these belief systems. We're meant to edit them and recreate them. And for me, that happened through a spiritual awakening. But if I have to explain how we change our belief systems, it's literally through choice. Choosing that you are worthy because your imagination has created an emotional experience within itself. That's what you're actually worthy of. Now that leads me into the emotional side of things. So we take a look at our emotions. We use emotions predominantly as a reaction to things. Someone speaks to us in a crappy way, and then we feel offended. And that leads to a thought, which leads to another action, and that just perpetuates a cycle, and it's very depowering. It's a very belittling way to live. That's belittling ourselves, using our emotions as whichever one comes out based on the scenario. If our emotions are reactive, then they don't create our reality for us the way we want it. That is manifesting unconsciously. If you're sitting in a condition of scarcity, that has to do with your emotions being reactive. You don't recognize the power and abundance within you. And that's where abundance truly exists. It's within us. Now, how do we bring that out to start experiencing it on the outside? So we go into this emotional understanding. We don't allow our emotions to be reactive. We withhold that power. So what we're meant to do with that is create emotion and live as though that emotion is our reality. We do this with our imagination all the time. You may be lying in bed one day, daydreaming about the way things could be to be better for you. Then you feel this emotion, well, if only I had this, if only I had that. And you get into that space where you're like, that would be so cool if those things were in my world, in my reality. Now, if you extract the feeling and choose to onboard that as your current state of self, that is the first part of signaling to the universe how to bring things to you. You're literally telling it what you are, and then it will give you a reflection of that. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you a reflection of what you are. That, combined with the sphere that I was telling you about, our sphere of control, is the most powerful way to change your reality. And you guys can give it a try. Now, combining that with gratitude, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how it all works in a little bit. That's what starts to create your reality around you. In fact, it's doing it right now. And this is the part that's hard to accept, is everything around you right now is a creation of your internal state of self. So how you feel about yourself right now is being shown to you. That's how spirituality, manifestation, energy works. We get into the last one before I go into the sphere and how to apply it for manifestation. If you're enjoying this so far, give me a thumbs up. I want to see how many of you are resonating with this point and how many of you are thinking this actually makes sense. So we get into the thoughts, which are often just on autoplay. But what you got to realize is that your emotions are perpetuating. Think of it like a clock. And the longest, the hour hand, is the emotion. It takes longer to turn, but as soon as it hits the top, or as soon as it changes to the next number, the next emotion, then the thoughts are the minute and second hands running around on that concept. So if you're in an emotion of frustration, the thoughts are going to perpetuate that. One of the most interesting things I've heard recently was by Kimberly Snyder, and it's in her book, The Hidden Power of the Five Hearts. It will all be linked down below. They went and took a look at how the body responds to different emotions. And what they found is that anger literally stops the effectiveness of your immune system by up to 6 hours. And if you go take a look at what anger is, it's a chemical reaction in your brain that only lasts 90 seconds. So one thought and one spell of anger goes off, and it takes 90 seconds for your body to make that chemical reaction inert, basically to deactivate it. The reason we stay angry for way longer than 90 seconds is because our thoughts perpetuate the thing that's frustrating us, and it keeps us in that angry cycle, and emotion keeps ticking over. But the main support is the emotion. We can choose that emotion, which I've just spoken to you about, by creating a reality in imagination, thinking about how cool it could be, and then saying, that is my state of self. Your body actually responds to that, and the thoughts that follow are going to be within that realm, because thoughts are limited, emotions aren't. We can get creative with emotion, but thoughts themselves are limited to the emotion. So the only way we really change our thoughts is by changing the emotion, and awareness is key. If you become aware of what you're thinking and you can observe yourself and go, why am I thinking such a stupid thing? Then you can start to upgrade your reality. So now we get into the sphere of control. Now we know we're going to shift into this state. So we get into feeling first. That is the job where we go, okay, we are aware of our belief systems. We're aware that they don't serve us. We can let them go because it's irrelevant. We then choose the emotion by creating it, and we allow those thoughts to happen. What it does is create an emotion, and our brain starts finding ways to get there. Now, a lot of us get stuck in this. We want our scarcity to end, and we want abundance. So we look at those around us that have abundance. That is outside of your sphere of control. And what you're telling the universe is that you are the kind of person to always look outside for more. So you're saying that everything outside of me is what I've got to look at because that's what I want. Instead of turning inward, when you start looking at your life the way it is, however that is for you, whether it's a small bank account, a moderate bank account, whatever it is that you're trying to shift, when you look inward, what you're telling the universe is that it can give you the reflection that suits you with what you have. So if you start to treat your $2,000 left in your bank account as $1 million, and you start to treat what you have as the be all and end all, as sufficient, as more than enough, you will start to feel a feeling of gratitude for what you already have. So next time you see something that you really want, let it be a reminder to you to want what you have. That same energy of desire for things, put it into what you already have. Say, oh wow, I want to use my iPhone 11 that's 6 years old, whatever it is for you, to feel the desire for the things you already have. What you're telling the universe is where to put the things that you want. Put it on the inside. This is where I'm going to experience it. And you start to shift that energy inward. Guys, if this is making sense and you don't want to miss another video on how to make spirituality practical, hit the subscribe button. I can't wait to see you there, and I really can't wait to have deep conversations with you in the comments. This is how we shift our energy to start attracting abundance. Thanks so much for watching. I really can't wait to hear from you guys. Please leave this video a like if you feel called to, and I hope to see you on my subscribers list and the next video. Mad love and light.